What an incredible game. The Houston Texans, they get it done. They beat the Denver Broncos in an absolute thriller, man. This game went down to the wire. It looked like the Denver Broncos were going to complete a huge comeback, but then interception in the end zone. The Houston Texans survived. This was an absolute crazy game, guys, as the Houston Texans, they continue to get it done, and they look poised to make it to the playoffs as the Texans, led by rookie CJ Stroud, are doing incredible things this season. And, you know, if CJ Stroud gets this Texans team into the playoffs, will be the first team led by a rookie QB to the playoffs for the first time since Andrew Luck and the Colts did it when Luck was a rookie. So I wanted to talk about this one, guys. Please do me a solid, hit a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new Texans fans. I hope you enjoy this one because I've been meaning to make a Houston Texans video for a while now. And, you know, I was watching this game closely. I've been making a couple of Broncos videos, and obviously what the Broncos have been able to do on that winning streak was impressive. So this ended up being one of the best games of the, well, not one of the best games, I think the best game of the early slate. I know the Colts and Titans game went into overtime. That was an absolute fun game as well. But this one was, you know, a playoff kind of matchup. Two teams battling hard, trying to get in there. As the Texans held off the Broncos 22-17. They intercepted Russell Wilson in the end zone, less than 10 seconds left. Nico Collins, he had a career high 191 yards receiving and a fourth quarter score. Jimmy Ward intercepted Russell Wilson for the game-winning interception in the end zone. And, you know, you look at Ward, just unbelievable, you know, leaping in front of the intended receiver to secure the fourth victory in 5 games for Houston. These were two of the hottest teams coming into the NFL. Houston, now 7-5, Denver 6-6, and this could be a huge game when we look back at it in terms of the playoff implications in the AFC. And Wilson, the Texans defense, gave him all sorts of problems. He was intercepted a season high 3 times, all of them after halftime. So, I mean, the Texans defense stepped it up. As you look at Derek Stingley Jr., he had 2 picks for the Texans, and the Broncos had forced 15 turnovers in their winning streak. But what was key was they didn't have a takeaway Sunday. So it just goes to show how diligent and disciplined this Houston Texas team has been. And you look at their rookie sensation, CJ Stroud, he threw for 274 yards to end a streak of 4 straight games with at least 300 yards passing. But he had a very diligent game. Star rookie receiver Tank Dell injured his ankle, though, in the first half and was carted off the field. So that was the worst part about this for the Houston Texans. You know, seeing that injury, very, very devastating. And it was sad to see Dell be carted off like that. As Texans rookie defensive end Will Anderson Jr., the 3rd overall pick in the draft, had his best game of his young career. He stepped up. The former Alabama star, he had 2 sacks, 4 quarterback hits, deflected one of the balls that was intercepted, and deflected a punt. As you look at Wilson, he threw for just 186 yards and a touchdown. He struggled in this one, which was Denver's first loss since October 12th. The Denver Broncos were on a remarkable run prior to this loss, and early in the 4th quarter, Wilson, his 41-yard pass to Jerry Jeudy got Denver to the 1, and then he ran it in for a score on the next play to cut Houston's lead to 22-17, and then the Broncos got a stop and were driving on the very next possession, and that's when the interception happened because the Broncos, it looked like they were going to score, guys. Russell Wilson, he had a critical 4th down conversion where he scrambled, and then Houston Texans, you got to credit these guys, goal line stand, they get it done, and they win this game. As the Texans, they are now 7-5, they have their eyes on the playoffs. And this has been a team that has just been so fun to watch. I mean, who had the Houston Texans doing this? Like, this team has just been unbelievable. And DeMeco Ryans, J.J. Watt said it on the postgame show that he would have DeMeco Ryans as his coach of the year. I mean, I would not argue with him. The Texans have been on an incredible run. I mean, they almost beat the Jags last week too. But prior to that, they beat the Cards, they beat the Bengals, they beat the Bucks. They were just clicking. The loss that hurts the Texans is the Panthers loss, and that ends up being the Panthers' lone win to this point. That was a very, very bad loss at the time, but other than that minor hiccup, I mean, the Texans, they have been humming along here, guys. This is a team that they still have their sights on the division. I know that loss to the Jags hurts, but, you know, this division is not wrapped up by any means. The Jags are going to be favorites when they take on the Bengals. But right now, the Houston Texans are in a good position to make the playoffs. I mean, right now, they would be on the outside looking in because of that big win by the Colts against the Tennessee Titans. But this was big in terms of beating a team that they're ultimately going to have to be fighting with to get that last playoff spot. You know, when you look at the wild card right now, the Browns are first, Steelers are second, Colts are third. Then you got the Texans, who are right there at 7-5. The Broncos 6-6 after this loss. You got the Bills, and then I would say the Bengals are done with that Joe Burrow injury. I don't trust the Chargers, who are, I think, done as well. And then you got the Raiders and Jets. So this final playoff spot is looking like it could come down to Texans, Broncos, Bills, and the Colts. Now, obviously, the Browns can still fall out of it, and the Steelers, but I would say, basically put it this way. There's 6 teams that are in the realistic playoff mix right now, and there's 3 spots. So the Houston Texans have played well enough that they deserve one of those 3 spots. And I think if I had to predict this, I would say the 3 playoff teams are going to end up being, honestly, probably the teams on the outside looking in right now. Like, I got the Texans getting in there, making the playoffs. I think the Broncos still find a way, and I do think the Bills find a way, but the Bills' schedule is tough. So I think it will be Steelers, Texans, Broncos, Bills. 3 out of those 4 teams are going to make the wild card if I had to make a prediction right now in this video. But you look at the Texans' schedule. They are going to be taking on the Jets next week, which is going to be a very winnable game for them. Then they have a couple of crucial matchups to end their season. You talk about the playoff picture and their playoff hopes being right in front of them. They're going to control, in essence, their playoff destiny because they got the Titans, the Browns, who are right now in that first wild card spot, the Titans again, and then the Indianapolis Colts. So, you know, you take care of business against the Jets. You take care of business a couple of times against the Tennessee Titans. The Texans should be in a good position to make the wild card. And that final game of the season against the Colts could be massive in terms of who's making it to the playoffs and who's not. I do think this will be a playoff team, especially with the way they've been playing on both sides. CJ Stroud looks like a veteran out there. D'Amico Ryans has this team playing hard. The Houston Texans, what a win. This team continues to turn heads and surprise people. One of the best stories of this NFL season. Let me know what your thoughts have been, Texans fans. Do you think this Texans team will get into the playoffs when it's all said and done? Let me know your thoughts. Hit a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you aren't new. Plus, ring the bell for more. This is Lucas signing off. Until next time, I'll catch you all again in the next video.